So the rumour mill is an overdrive as to who leaked the peace talks within Harry's side and King Charles's side. So we're going to get into that a little bit more, but I'm also going to be talking about the recent developments of Harry going across where his mother walked in the minefield that was cleared. I just want to clarify that. So he was never in any danger as much as his mother wasn't. However, so we're going to get into that and why I believe that what we're being told in regards to Meghan is not true. So if you're interested in this, where I like delving between the lines, I don't just take what's being said, but I look at body language, behaviour, and I use my 20+ years experience as a UK therapist to try and understand, using my intuition, as to what is really going on and why the mainstream media just continually keep telling us mistruths, as I should say, or just blatant lies. Let's call it what it is. So if you want to join me where you want to uncover the truth and not just the gossip, then this could be the channel for you. So my name is Ems and I've been on YouTube for about 4 years now, trying to uncover what is going on with Harry and Meghan. And so if you're still here, then welcome. Go grab your cuppa, sit back, relax as we get into some tea with a little bit of therapeutic knowledge. So before I get going, I want to say thank you, finally, praise whoever. The media seems to have been sorted. I have uncovered, with the help of my son, getting to the bottom of what this is, and I truly do believe this is now sorted. So this is going to be the second video where I hope it's sorted. So fingers crossed, this is now a continuation. Yeah, so what is going on? So the rumour mill has hit sort of global levels of who leaked this information. Some saying it's Harry's camp and some saying it's well, no, actually, you know, I mean, I suppose their side are probably, I haven't seen it because I don't really listen to what they say, but I'm sure they're probably going, oh no, it's probably the palace that did it. And I think just this is where I use my sort of intuition as to what I feel is potentially going on, because in a way, what we try and do is look at what's the benefit of, say, King Charles leaking this, or, you know, his side leaking this, or Harry leaking this. And in all fairness, the only benefit could be that maybe it could potentially look for sort of both of them, that things are going ahead, that things are moving forward. So it could have been, which is what I feel, that it was almost like a bit staged. Like when I was looking at the footage, it sort of felt that they'd taken the opportunity to make sure the sort of footage got taken, and then they went inside, maybe before anything was kind of going on. Now, this could have been set up to see if it was leaked, because if you're going to look at the fact that that this is being put, the feelers are being put out of how to move forward with Harry, then of course, the king is going to be tentative, understandably so. You know, is this going to be leaked? Now, the fact that it has then could be that he's just like, right, well, you know what? I gave you a chance and you've leaked it. I don't feel that Harry would have leaked this, because I truly do believe that Harry wants back in. Now, I don't think he wants to come back to the UK, and I said this in the last video. I don't think he's got any interest in living here, but he wants the connection with the royal family. He wants to do things that sort of suit him. And I think that they're trying to find a way for him to have sort of some relevance of a connection, but not as a working royal. So I feel like they're almost trying to find where to put him, because he's not a working royal, but it's obvious that he's completely lost outside of being a working royal. So I'd imagine what they're potentially trying to do is find a place for him. Where do we slot him? What's the thing here? Now, that's not to say that she didn't get wind of this and she leaked it, because here's the thing. I don't believe that she wants Harry to come back in, because it's very obvious, and I think most of us pretty much know this, that the requirement would absolutely be You can, but she can't. And as we know, with a narcissist, they would absolutely hate that. They would hate not being included. They would hate being left out in the cold when it comes to whatever it is. So it would almost be, well, if I'm not included, you're not having it. So she would do whatever it takes to scupper that. So there is every chance that somehow she found out, through sort of back channels of perhaps her aide is communicating with Harry's aide or whatever it is, I don't know. She found out and she leaked it. So that's very plausible to me, because it would be absolutely, I mean, I know Harry's not bright, but even he would know that leaking this would be incredibly stupid. And I do believe that he wants back in. He wants the connection. He wants the communication open, because he wants to, if I'm honest, manipulate his father. He doesn't want to be left out. He wants to make sure that when his father passes, that he passes with good graces. Because he probably also knows that if he can manipulate his father, there is every chance his brother might soften, in which case then when his brother becomes king, he won't be literally, you're out, you're done. So I don't think for a second this is Harry caring about his father, caring about being part of the royal family, caring about the country. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think Harry has he's lost his way. He had expectations through her of what this was going to be like in America. I absolutely 100% believe that she sold him a dud. She was literally like, she sold him this fantasy of like, we're going to go to America, we're going to take over America, we'll be even more, probably more popular than the president and the first lady. You know, we will do this, and this. You know, we'll have film roles. We'll be hobnobbing it with the A-listers, and none of that's happened. None of it. In fact, they've now become just an absolute joke. I apologise if you're getting some bit of a background noise. I've had to switch my fan on because I'm literally melting here. So yeah, so I think that there's that. So with him going across and doing what he's done, you can imagine that now, and also money's drying up. So even though to the rest of us, they're a lot more well off than we are, but to them who are used to living this very lavish lifestyle, when you've not got something coming in that's regular, then you can imagine that that's going to start being a bit of a worry. Now with her, because she's literally got fingers in every single pie, and like I said, I absolutely believe that she's trying to groom billionaires into investing into this fake business of hers. Not because I think that she wants people to invest in her jam, but I think she wants whatever the next level is, like she wants to get into fashion or makeup or whatever it is. You know, there's been rumors of her wanting to start a hotel chain or something ridiculous like that. But she needs money. She needs backers to do that. Harry hasn't got money. She will now realise that Harry is not this, multi-millionaire, billionaire, prince. On the surface, it looks like he's super uber rich, but actually having tangible money is very, very different. And they probably, like I say, with the flying private jets here, there and everywhere, staying in lavish hotels, whatever it is that they're up to, that they're going to literally blow through that. So if you haven't got anything else coming in, they need backers, they need money. So this is what they were using, I think, Archewell for. Then they've got this As Ever brand that she's trying to create to look as if it's really a popular, a company. It's not. It's just that she's ticking the boxes. So she's got her thing going on. So you've got Harry there just going, well, I don't know what to do with myself. You know, she's making money, and I can absolutely guarantee you that she's kind of there going, I'm the one making the money, you're not really doing anything. And she's probably keeping a percentage of that. So he's probably coasting on whatever he's got left from his inheritance, but he's also lost. So he wants to find a way back in a way that suits him, but he also wants the communication back open with his father, because he knows that if he doesn't, when his father passes, then William becomes king and he's done. And I think he truly knows that. So he probably knows if he can soften his father can help him soften William and Catherine. So that's what I think all of this is about. But I absolutely do believe either this was purposely set up to see who leaked it and orchestrated, and there's not really much going on, or there is every chance that she potentially got wind of it and leaked it, because I don't believe that Harry would have sabotaged this. I mean, he wants this, so I don't believe that he would have sabotaged this. She absolutely would. Now, I understand that people are going to go, yeah, but she wants the titles and she wants this. Yeah, she does right now, but she also knows to elevate herself within America, at some point, those titles are going to have to go. If she's got big designs, whether it be White House, whatever it is, she's going to potentially know that at some point, the titles are going to become redundant. She also knows potentially that William is never, ever going to allow her back in. She's done. No matter what happens and what peace talks, whatever else goes on, she knows she is done. So with that in mind, she's going to scupper Harry getting anything. She will want to punish him. Narcissists, they don't love the person that's their mark. She doesn't love Harry. She doesn't love anything about him. She loved his money and the prestige that she got and the fame that she got from marrying him. Now she's got that, albeit that she's more infamous and she's not, I wouldn't say she's a success, but she's certainly, in a sense, more known than what she was, obviously, when she had her TIG days and she was on Suits. So this is what I think is potentially going on. I think that she doesn't want Harry having anything to do with being part of the royal family, so she's going to sabotage that any chance she gets. If you look at her Instagram, if you look at the things that she doesn't just only troll the royal family, she trolls Harry too. I'm not being funny. When it is being laid out, whether you want to believe the sort of conspiracy of what really happened to Princess Diana, but if we're going to look at this in the sort of the terms of this is what we were told. We were told that she died through not having a seatbelt on, drunk driver. You then decide to release an alcoholic wine on your husband's dead mother's birthday, who died from being in a car accident with the driver that was drunk. That's not paying homage to your mother, your mother-in-law that's passed away. That's trolling. That's deeply insensitive, and she knows that. If she loved Harry, she wouldn't have been anywhere near that. Even if she'd have decided to release wine, she would have certainly done it with no connection to Princess Diana, his mother, whatsoever, knowing that could have potentially raised some trauma for him. So this is what I mean. When you look at behaviour, and this is why I always say to you, it's not just what's being said. You look at behaviour. You look at how someone acts around not just you but other people, and the love bombing and the manipulation, that will only go so far. So if you take your time and you sit back and you watch, that's not to say that the rest of us don't get duped, because there is this rule of that, almost like this perfect victim, right? This perfect victim is this sort of weak, submissive, vulnerable person. And I do dislike the term weak, but I'm only saying this in reference to how victims are sometimes portrayed. Well, this isn't always true. There is no one size fits all. Someone who's a victim of a narcissistic abuse or, SH, SA, whichever way you want to look at this, can be very together, very assured, even has been through trauma of saying like, this will never happen to me again. I now know the signs. I will never ever have a man or a woman ever do those things to me. And then it happens. And it's, in a way, it's kind of worse because you feel on top of what you're already feeling as a victim of someone who's been abused in that way, you feel utterly stupid in that moment until you sort of worked on yourself, because you think, of me of all people. And I know this firsthand being a therapist, because as I've said to you before, I was duped by a narcissist. And I could hear the words of people saying, but you're a therapist. How did that happen? How did you get duped? You of all people, as if I'm not, I'm immune from it. Nobody is, because especially if you're a person, like I said before, is empathic and you want to see the good in somebody, because they are master manipulators. And when they want to charm you, you're not going to have this, because we don't live in this world of we're suspicious of everybody. I mean, maybe we should be, but then what kind of life is that? So you sort of accept someone on face value. So when someone turns up and they're very charming and they're very friendly and they're very caring and they're all of these things, you don't suddenly go, you're a narcissist. You sort of go with it. You're just like, oh, this, really nice person. But what tends to happen, which is in my case, is you then start to notice things, which is what I did. I noticed things. And I was like, okay, that's not quite aligning with what they were doing before, or that's something different they said, or, oh, that's a bit harsh, and then when you try and sort of talk to them about it, they flip it or they gaslight you. And because I'm aware of that, I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So I would call them out. And the problem then becomes, because you're exposing them, because you're calling them out, if the gaslighting, the manipulation and all those things don't work, they then go on the attack. And this is what can happen. So unless you're somebody that then kind of goes, yeah, maybe they're right. Because there's this saying that I really do stick to, is that if you suffer abuse from a stranger, you don't trust the world. You mistrust the world. But if you suffer abuse by somebody you don't trust yourself. And that is very, very true, because you second guess everything, because you think, if they can get through, how did that happen? I don't trust my judgment. I don't trust anything. Whereas when it's a stranger, it's like you're just aware of the world around you, and you're just very you don't trust strangers. But it's very difficult when it is somebody that you know, because then that affects you personally. It's in that sense. It's like, but I knew them. How did they get through? How did I not see the signs? Sometimes we see the signs and we miss them. And that's the same with Harry and Meghan. It's like there would have been signs very early on, but probably because of the trauma that he's gone through and because this was happening to him, and because she was very good at manipulating him, he bypassed it. A lot of the time we can sort of sometimes do it for selfish reasons, like if the sex is good, or they're really great in other ways. I mean, when I've worked with clients, the amount of times I'd be like, yeah, but he doesn't hit me, or she doesn't hit me, but they're just a bit mean, as if that's okay. They've normalized it. No, it's not okay. It's not okay in any shape or form. We all have moments where we might snap or react, but if you're going to a level where you're mean and cruel, then that's more about you than it is the person you're doing that to. And if you can't get that checked out before going into a relationship, then you don't deserve to be in a relationship, because you're bringing that in and you shouldn't be. This is why it's so important to work on yourself. If you know that you've got those issues where you've got anger issues or things are coming up, work on that first, and think of it as in that the person that you're getting into a relationship deserves the best version of you, as much as you deserve the best version of them. Yeah, we can all work on little things, but don't go into it knowing that you're a mean and a cruel person and then just think, oh, it's okay to just take it out on that other person. So this is most definitely what I feel is happening there. So she is very much somebody that is going to want to sabotage him in every way, because she is not going to want him to be happy. When she distances herself, the devaluing, I feel, has probably already started. It's probably been going on for some time. She just hoovers him back in again. But when the discard happens, she is going to make things very, very difficult for him. And as much as I don't like Harry, and I will always say that I don't think any person deserves to be abused, perhaps within reason. I think that there's consequences, and I think that him having the consequence of what his family is how they're treating him now, that's deserved. That's called a consequence. But being cruel and hurting somebody, that's never going to be okay, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, before people come for me in the comments, there are exceptions to the rule, which I don't discuss on this channel, and you probably know what I'm talking about. Before I get into the next bit where I discuss Harry walking through this minefield, I just want to remind everyone, please hit that like button and subscribe if you do not want to miss future uploads, because it does help the algorithm and it tells YouTube that I'm a channel worth keeping. You can also super chat, buy me a coffee, you can go onto my Amazon wish list. There's various things that you can do if you want to show support for the channel, and also most of you know that I run the free therapy program. So, but again, that is all optional to you. Liking, subscribing, sharing, viewing the video is by far the most important thing to me, because that is what keeps the free therapy program running. If you haven't already subscribed to my Bite-Sized Tea channel, then please think about doing so, because that will also help as I get that up and running, and it means that I can take on more clients. I can then scale back on my paid clients and just focus on the free therapy program, which is what I'm really passionate about. But the main thing is, I really do truly appreciate all of the support that you give me on this channel. So without further ado, let's get back to the main part of the video. So of course we're now seeing coming out that Harry has gone and done this walk on the minefield to sort of mirror what his mum did all those years ago. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this, because it's again looking at this and trying to be as balanced as possible. One, the fact that it was done, and this is why this video is dropping on Friday, because it was Queen Camilla's birthday yesterday, and so I've made this rule in my mind that I'm not going to upload anything on another royal's birthday if it's towards those two, because they monopolise the media enough. But it frustrated me that this was then released on her birthday. So then, you know, to me, I'm kind of like, okay, so is this to do with the media? Is the media playing games? Because surely, again, Harry cannot be that ridiculously stupid that he hasn't realised that it's Queen Camilla's birthday, and on the same day, it's, you know, we're seeing this footage of him walking in this minefield. And well, I say minefield, it's obviously, it's been cleared out. It was cleared out when obviously his mother did it. So there's not in any danger. So that frustrated me in the first part, because I just thought, you know what, you know what you're doing, you know. But again, it's like, but is it possible that he could have said to the, you know, look, you know, I'm going to be doing this, because why do it now? I mean, surely you could have done this at any point. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was orchestrated a while back, but it's the fact that it was done on her birthday. And this again shows you the sort of pettiness of, because not only that, it's like, this is something to do with my mum. We all know the history of what went down. So it's almost like I don't know, it just feels like a bit of a finger up in a sense to Queen Camilla. And I just find that so distasteful, because I mean, this could have been done any time, or even the day before, the day after, whatever, a week later. Why? Surely that wouldn't have mattered. I think, you know, out of respect for the Queen, his father, especially given that he wants this sort of back in, and he knows how much his father loves sort of Camilla, then I just find this very, very sort of just tasteless really with him. He just really just doesn't see the bigger picture. So the other thing as well is this is just continuation in using his mother. Now, don't get me wrong, when Princess Diana did this, it was a huge deal. Now, okay, yes, they were cleared, but you know, there's always the possibility that one got missed, or it was such a big thing for her, because she was a member of the royal family, and normally they don't put themselves in situations. So this was a big deal, And so quite rightly so, it drew a lot of attention into what a lot of, you know, these sort of beautiful people suffer. Children, you know, men and women, you know, lose their lives, limbs, etc. from, you know, and having to deal with this every single day. So for her, it was like making that statement of, you know, I'm going to walk through and I'm going to show that, you know, this is how awful this is. So at that moment, it was so huge and so relevant, and it got obviously the front page press, and of course rightly so. But I just feel with Harry doing it, it's just another latching on to my mother. He just will not let that poor woman rest in peace. And I get, look, it's his mother, and maybe some of us can sort of think, well, it's his right to do whatever. But again, along with the fact that he's doing it on Camilla's birthday, just feels like this is vindictive. And then when you look at it that way, this is then not really about his mother. It's not really about focusing on these landmines and what they do. And and the absolute devastation they cause. It just feels like a PR stunt of like almost like trying to show everyone that, look, you know, I'm still a royal, I still do these things, I still care, but I just don't get that message. I did with you know, some of the other royals when they do things that I feel that. I don't feel that with him, and I might be wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But what I found interesting was this, obviously what was coming out is that even with him doing that, Meghan still has to be mentioned. It can't be that, you know, that he does something without her being mentioned. And I do wonder if this was put in because people were questioning why she wasn't there. I mean, firstly, why does she need to be there? I'm not being funny. Catherine and William do things without each other at times. So does King Charles and Queen Camilla. So the royals often do things without one another, but it almost feels like there cannot be an instant where Harry does something and Meghan, suddenly it's like Meghan hasn't gone to China with Harry. Meghan hasn't gone to this thing with Harry. Why has Meghan been left at home? Well, firstly, we're being told there's 2 children. So, of course, it stands to reason that will be the reason. Well, she's staying behind to look after the children. Even though we know it's not true. But I truly don't believe he wanted her there. I think at this point, he knows exactly what she's doing. If you've noticed, when Harry has done things, it's been pretty quiet. It's like, I think that he's trying to do things away from her. He doesn't want her taking over and making it about her, because I absolutely guarantee you she would have taken that opportunity to be the one that walks through the minefield, and she would have been in front of Harry. She would have made this about her, because her emulating Princess Diana is the goal for her. So she absolutely would have wanted to do that. So her not going was not because it wasn't safe. Because come on, I'm not being funny. If they can go to Nigeria, if they can go to Colombia, then yeah, they could have gone there. This is just absolute rubbish. I think they're just using that as a means to almost like say, oh, look how unsafe it is for Meghan. You know, she's so not safe in certain places. Oh, please do me a favour. It's nothing to do with that. I genuinely do believe it's because he didn't want her there. If you remember, she was removed from Invictus in Canada after her debacle. So I think that it's just like, you know, I don't want you there. You're not just, you know, you're not part of this. You know, you're constantly making this about you. And I think he's trying to reclaw his image back, albeit that I think he's done it completely the wrong way around, because I don't think this should have been done at all. But that's what I think he's doing. He's trying to claw back what he's lost. I don't think he's ever going to get it back, because too much has gone under the bridge, too much damage has been done, but he wants to do something. As I've said before, he misses being part of the royal family, the part that he wants to be, with the adulation, the security, and that's what he's always going to be angling for. If he can weasel his way back in, even if it's in some small capacity, then he can then say, well, now I'm sort of back in, then surely I can have security again. So there's always an agenda, always, with those two. Nothing is because of the good of their, you know, I really care about my father. It's nothing to do with that, in my opinion. I absolutely believe that he knows that when William becomes king, he's done. So he needs to do something fast. He needs to work now to get back in and do something. Like I say, not because he wants to come back to the UK, because I don't believe that for a second. I think he likes the lifestyle that he's got where he's in America, but he wants to flit in and out, like almost like have his cake and eat it. I don't want all the responsibilities that comes with being part of the UK, but I still want to do things and get paid for and get this money, and then get the security and have the notoriety back, because he's like a floundering fish. He just doesn't know what he's doing, and he's swimming in a sea of sharks, and at some point he is going to get eaten up, because you know the circles that they move in, like I said, when they got you know, shares in this Ethic, which is a very shady company in my opinion, the way that they're running things, the sort of things that they're connected to, you know, it's coming out that, which I'm going to be looking into and maybe doing a video on, is that, you know, there's the American taxes, some of the American people's money is being paid into, is it better up? It's like something's really hinky going on there. So there's a lot going around, I think, with him, and I just think he just doesn't know where he fits in. Meghan's got her thing, and he just doesn't know what to do. So he's going back to kind of the only thing he knows, which is being part of the royal family and what comes with that. So this is what I feel that he's doing. But she is going to sabotage him in every chance she gets. Watch this space. She's going to be doing whatever she can. And it is going to be when they divorce. Now, some people have said they will never divorce. I think they will when she's ready, when she's got whatever it is that she's after, because he can't take her any further. You know, even the titles really are kind of redundant because no one takes them seriously in the United States. So she needs something more that Harry can't give her. If she finds that, yes, there will be an absolute divorce, because as I've said before, they don't live together. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there something that you found out that perhaps I haven't seen? Because as I've said to you before, you know, working full time, I don't always get to be able to have the time to do the research, and that's why I rely on you guys, your eyes and ears on the ground, to tell me what you might have found out. Now, some things pan out, some things don't. I find that I'm sometimes wrong about things, and like I said, I'm always happy to own that. You know, I'm looking into certain things, and if I find out that I'm really wrong, then I will come on and say, look, I said this in this video and I found out that I'm wrong, because I've got no issue in that at the end of the day. But as I've always said, just you know, like I say, keep liking, keep sharing, keep YouTube interested in my channel, and hopefully going forward it will just, I'll get to my 100k subscribers, my plaque, by the end of the year, which is I'm praying. So yeah, so thank you so much, all of you. I really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend, and as you know, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.